Welcome everybody to the 2019 US Open semifinals. You can see the lights, you can see the stadium bouncing to the music because we're watching Samantha Salas and Maria Jose Vargas. You see them up on the picture, they're looking serious. Well, guess what? It's a serious moment. They're bidding to get into the final here tomorrow. This will be a test for both of them. Salas lost surprisingly in the quarterfinals in Virginia by the beach. Vargas overcame world number one Longoria in the final in a dramatic tiebreaker to take that title. So she's full of confidence, but Salas, she's back. She didn't have a great tournament in Virginia. She took some time off, and she has played very well so far this week. Salas looking to retain that number 2 spot, get to the final once more. Vargas, well, if you heard her interview yesterday, she said she's motivated. She wants to be US Open champion. She wants to be world number 1. Well, welcome everyone to this great tournament. My name's Tim Baggers. We are joining this live match. Of course, we have another semifinal coming up later this morning, early afternoon, and then the final of doubles. You can see Salas on the court already, and in the back, Maria Jose Vargas. Salas in the red, Vargas in the dark uniform. Now's your chance to make the predictions. Who's going to win this matchup? It's one of those ones that's just, it's going to be too close to call. So here we go. Vargas to serve first. Both of these players have a lot of experience on this show court. Let's see how they do today. Wow. Side out. Vargas gets an absolute bullet in the middle of the court. And I think we're going to have an appeal for the first round. No. I mean, Salas absolutely ripped Vargas. First rally of the day. Things are intense. High lob Z to the right side is the traditional shot from Salas, and Vargas steps in and crushes it to the left side. Vargas usually serves to the left side over here. She did really well in Virginia with that serve, scoring a lot of aces and setting up for a second serve drive serve. Ceiling ball game. Vargas shoots first. It's high shoulder height into the floor, side out. Salas stands on this right side. She can go down the line or cross court, depending on her preference. She goes cross court. It's a little short. The first point goes to Vargas, 1 serving 0. I'm joined for this match by special guest Rhonda Racich. Rhonda, thanks so much for joining us. It should be a great match.
Yeah, it should be. You got 2 heavy hitters here, and you know, they're both pretty hungry. They're both definitely capable, and they both seem to be playing a lot of really good ball lately. So I think it's going to be a tough matchup for both sides.
Oh, goodness. Salas goes down. So we've already had Vargas hit by the ball. Now Salas hits the floor. I'm glad she's okay. That right ankle twisted a little bit. Another skip ball from Salas. You can see she looks up in frustration. 3 serving 0. Rhonda, you've played both of these a lot. Give us a little rundown for, you know, kind of how each of these both play.
Well, they're both very aggressive. They both, you know, they both want to hit the ball a ton each time they get the opportunity. I mean, let's be honest, we all do. But I think this matchup is kind of going to come down to serve and serve return. I think it's going to be whose serves are on and who's got some good returns out and off those serves. And on this court, you know, even though we've got the green ball, it's still not the easiest thing to see, especially in those back corners. So, you know, if I actually knew whose vision was better, I'd give the slight edge to them, just because this court is unlike any other that we play on for, you know, for the whole rest of the year.
Well, we have a timeout on the court, and an early timeout taken by Salas. I mean, she's down, and, you know, you look at someone like Salas, she's been here, she's done it for year after year after year. Good timeout?
Sure, why not? I mean, if your opponent's on a 4-point roll, I mean, I think what she's hoping for is either to recalibrate herself or to hopefully disrupt the momentum that Vargas has going.
Well, we saw Vargas winning in LPRT by the beach, and we know she's coming in with a lot of confidence. She started the brighter of the two. Salas probably doesn't expect to be down heavy in this first game. We'll see what she does after this timeout. We'll take a little break. We'll be back in just a second. It's a good timeout. She got what she wanted, which was the side out.
Mission accomplished.
And a skip from Vargas. First point for Salas. 2 rallies won after that timeout. Salas traditionally stands over on this right side. What are you looking for when she stands over here to determine whether she goes down the line or cross court?
Well, her serve from that spot is pretty deceptive. I know that she favors that right serve more than most who stand there, so I look for that first. But I mean, she just has such a variable on her swing when she actually gets into her service. She kind of put it anywhere, especially those Z's like that. They're very hard to read, and those Z's that she hits to the forehand corner, she can put like 12 different spins on those things. They never seem to come at you the same way, which is also very effective. So the ability to hit that mix, I think, gives her a pretty decent service advantage when she hits it from that spot. Especially, again, on this court, if she puts that down the right, you really got to be able to see the ball on that right glass wall.
And a point for Vargas, an ace serve. Makes it 6 serving 2. Look at this bullet to the left side, and wonder if Salas just lost it in the glass on that left corner.
Well, Vargas has her own flare of spin on some of her too. She hits some that once they cross the short line and hit the floor, they seem to pick up speed and almost spin backwards towards the back wall, which, you know, if she's mixing up those spins on intentionally or not, it's still coming at you. It might look the same, but it doesn't feel the same after it hits the floor, and it doesn't feel the same coming off your string. So, if you're going to jump on it, you definitely have to be able to read the spin of the ball as well as where it's at.
Great get from Vargas. And Vargas continues her fine form. Earlier, there was a call for a screen serve by Salas. She was frustrated. She asked for an appeal. One agreed, one disagreed, the two line judges. So call stood. And Vargas continuing her momentum. 8-2. Surprising scoreline.
Yeah, I didn't think it would be this much of a gap this soon. I mean, they're both strong players and both, avid retrievers. I mean, they're both very capable of keeping the ball in play. But again, that ball is hard to see, and it makes you stifle your reflexes a bit.
Mm-hmm. Vargas diving to the floor. The crowd like it. They're watching on all around. Great effort from Vargas, but it was too good from Salas. Her forehand so powerful.
Very powerful.
Skip ball from Vargas. Salas going with the Z. Oh, wait, it's broken.
Ball.
So Vargas gets away with one in that situation. And a replay, 2 serving 9. Take that number off the scoreboard. Salas has to, that's frustrating, right? You win the rally, and then the ball's broken, you have to replay it. Smart shot from Salas. 3-shot rally. Loose return from Vargas, and you can see as she walks to the back, pretty frustrated with herself right now. Short serve. Better return from Vargas that time, going down the line.
And that's a tough angle to hit when the ball is coming kind of at you and yet away from you at the point of contact. That's a real tough angle to guide it into that line without catching the sidewall. That's a tough shot by Vargas.
Just a little short. Good backhand.
Very smart.
She's definitely improved that over the last few years. It used to be more of a push. Now she's striking that ball better.
Indeed. She's using more of her lower body to engage the shot too, not so much upper body.
You've played on this glass court a lot. It's very different. Describe what it's like to be in there.
For me, it's a sensory thing. You've got to get used to, the ball sounds different when it hits the glass and when it hits the wood, just bouncing it. The wood feels a little differently underneath your feet. It's, it's elevated a bit, so it's almost like it's on a platform. So, there's a little bit of a feeling of kind of a cushion where things seem to soften up a bit. The ball doesn't come off the sidewalls as hard, or it doesn't you've got to hit those splats harder in order to get them to the front wall. Or if it's coming off the back wall, you're going to have to take an extra half a step back because it's not going to come off as far. So it's a little bit of recalibrating your judgment for where the ball should be, especially since it's so hard to pick up. You have to kind of train your instincts for what this particular court feels like. I mean, it's a great court, not a complaint at all. The court is fantastic. I love this court. It's my home, as you said. I've played on it a lot. But I love playing on this court, especially when I get it dialed in and everything about it feels good.
Well, timeout taken by Vargas. It's her second and final timeout. Probably a good one because it's 10-3 in favor of her opponent, Vargas. And you can see, I love these pictures because they look so serious, but off the court, all of you players very happy, very cheerful, always engaging with the fans. And so I see these pictures and I'm like, wait, that's not you guys. But hope you appreciate everywhere where you're watching, all of the effort going into making these productions really special for you wherever you're watching. Of course, we have another match coming up after this. We'll have the IRT men's semifinal, and then we'll go back to the women's semifinal, which will be Longoria Mejia. That should be a very interesting match as well, Rhonda.
Yeah, I think so. Especially after, I don't know if they've played or how often they may have played since this past Mexico's national championships, but I'm sure that it will deliver just as much excitement for the crowd as that did.
That's right. Mejia, the current junior world champion, and has made a splash on the LPRT. Doesn't come to all the tournaments, but when she has, she's certainly won a lot of matches, and here she is in the semifinal. We'll see if she can overcome Longoria, the world #1. Great serve from Vargas. Wow, little fist pump. She's playing really, really well. Throws a few skips in now and again, but isn't in this match.
Yeah, but Vargas is in her groove right now. She's not afraid to hit what she wants to hit, and even the misses haven't discouraged her from her game plan of being pretty aggressive and attacking every opportunity she gets. Some contact there.
Well, we've got a point given, avoidable hinder. You could. So both line judges overturn our official Rodriguez. So the call is overturned and a replay coming. Skip that time from Vargas. We haven't said that a lot in this match so far. You're down 3 serving 12. What's the focus? Are you trying to change strategy? Are you trying to what are you trying to do?
Get the serve in. You got to get the serve in. You want to have an effective serve and then let yourself, find your rhythm in the rally if there is one. But the better the serve can be, the higher your percentage is going to be of being able to get yourself in a flow from the time you drop the ball out of your hand.
Well, some late applause, but it was just a bullet from Salas down the right side, and that's the one that she can throw in now and again, as you saw. She usually goes cross court, and then every once in a while throws in one down the right. That was loose. Suddenly, Salas has found her groove. Side out. Look at the lunge from Vargas. She's so athletic, sliding to the right side. just flicking the ball to the front wall. 12 serving 6. And you can see Salas walking backwards, a little frustrated. Vargas winning again on that forehand side. Rhonda, when you play Samantha, what kind of serves do you usually hit that gives you an advantage, as you were talking about?
I don't want to say this out loud. She's going to watch this at some point.
Fair enough.
I will just say that, you know, every day is a little bit different for each player. You know what I mean? Sometimes, you know, they could be on a particular serve or a particular shot or a particular return that they might not usually like, and vice versa. So I think each day I go into it with somewhat of a game plan, but I'm also looking to see what's available that day.
Wow. What a shot from Salas, deep in the back left corner. Rips it. She saves game point number 1. But she needs some momentum. Even if she doesn't win this first game, she needs something to take her into game 2, don't you think?
I agree. I agree.
Wow.
Smart.
Well handled.
Very smart.
Sometimes maybe the pressure's on because your opponent is so athletic. You're very athletic. It puts pressure on your opponent to just hit one more shot, and maybe they make that mistake. Salas, as you said, smart shot, kept her composure.
Exactly. And those were great gets by Vargas. I mean, any one of those could have been a rally-ending shot by Samantha, and Vargas kept the ball in play. And they weren't, you know, they weren't just gimme setups either. Samantha still had to execute well.
Wow, talk about execute. She really stepped into that.
Yeah, she did.
And good timeout from Vargas, 8-14.
And that's probably similar to the first timeout Samantha took when she was down 4-0 at the very beginning. Trying to break the momentum, trying to regather your own.
Okay, we're going to take a timeout ourselves. We'll be back in just a minute as play resumes in game number 1. Welcome back, everybody. Tim and Rhonda joining you for this first semifinal. Vargas took a huge lead, had a game point. It was saved by Salas, and Salas has now earned a couple points. And Vargas took the timeout. We'll see if it works in her favor. Vargas will want a screen. She looks to her coach, Carlos Quadri, and Carlos Quadri says, nope, don't appeal that one. Players have 3 appeals or 3 lost appeals per game. Another point for Vargas, and suddenly it's 10-14. Vargas maybe feeling a little pressure now.
Well, I was just going to say, it seems like the more time Samantha can spend in the service box, being able to run off a few consecutive points, the more comfortable she's getting in the service box, and her serves are just starting to elevate.
Wow, some
Great
interesting movements in that, where Vargas was covering the forehand. She knew what Salas was hitting, but Salas, in the end, got that point. And again, it's another point for Salas, 11-14.
Great rally.
Make that 12. So serve was called good. Vargas made the appeal for short serve. Call stands. What a turnaround in this first game. What a turnaround. Okay, the side out from Vargas. The serve was a little loose. One of the changes that Salas has made, remember, she started on that right side. She's moved her serve over more to the middle, and that seems to have helped her a little bit.
Yeah, I think it gives her a few more options with the ability to disguise from the center angle when you know the receiver's standing right behind you.
Diving effort from Salas. She really went for it. It was game point. And Vargas, you can see, fist pumping her way out of the court. She takes the first, 15-12. We'll take a minute, thank a sponsor. We'll be back for game number 2. Welcome back, everyone, for game number 2. Tim joined by Rhonda. Rhonda, we talked about gaining some momentum in the end of that first game, and Salas certainly did that. She was down heavy. She pulled her way back, not quite able to get game one. Should give her some confidence going into game two.
Yeah, I think she definitely started to play her way into that first game, and like you said, even though she lost, she definitely gained some momentum of her own, and I think developed a little bit of comfort as well on the court, in the service box, and settled into the game that I think she wants to play for herself. I think we're going to see a little less lopsidedness in this second game throughout.
Well, we can see Salas standing over on that left side. She's moved away from her traditional right side serve position. Beautifully handled by Vargas. I'm not sure what Salas is appealing for.
I think she may have hit her with a racket at some point going back for the ball.
So both line judges overturned, so a replay coming up. No appeal lost. The value of line judges, it kind of fixes some of those where it's just on one person to make the right call every time.
Absolutely. You never want to feel like, like something got taken away from you because of lack of angle or vision or, just a mistake.
Well, another appeal. And the appeal lost. One agreed, one disagreed. First point for Salas. She has the advantage going into this second game. This is more than just a moment on the court. These two vying for that second seed spot on the LPRT. It's a ranking issue as well. Kind of a statement of Vargas wanting to kind of get back into the top two.
I'm sure they're both playing for it, sure. I mean, I don't know that that's necessarily on the forefront of their minds. That might be a nice bonus as an afterthought, however it shakes out. But
this is the U.S. Open semifinal.
Yeah,
they want to be in the final.
Exactly. This is about what's gonna happen today.
Ooh, that's a good shot from Salas on the backhand side. 3 serving 0. Salas has to win this game. She needs a tiebreaker. Well, Vargas asking for a wet ball. I don't think she'll win this if she appeals it. She's not going to. It was more hopeful, maybe.
Yeah, and like I said, both of these ladies can put some tremendous spin, whether it's intentional or unintentional. They can both mix up the spin on their serves pretty well. Might have just spun away from her.
Interesting strategy, Salas running around to take that on the forehand, kind of like a tennis player, showing she really wants to hit the forehand.
Not only that, but by turning around, it changes Vargas's court position and what she's able to cover, and it becomes even more of a guessing game based on Samantha's forehand setup from that spot, what she could hit.
So put yourself in the position of Vargas if you can. You're down 0-4. You've won the first game. You talked about changing the momentum. You're seeing Salas really setting things up from her serve. How do you respond to that? What would you do differently in that situation to kind of get that rally going so that you're engaged in it?
Well, like I said, Samantha, the more time she has spent in the service box, the more comfortable she looks with her serve, and the more she's able to dial it in and mix it up, and she's getting real comfortable with how she's executing the serve. I think the only thing you can really do when somebody's on their serve like that is to either make them uncomfortable by attacking it or get them complacent by just hitting good, solid, defensive returns, like a good ceiling ball that's going to bring her back and then go in for the attack again. I mean, you've got to change something to try to make her second guess her own serve or make her uncomfortable or just make it so that, she's a little less dialed in on how she's executing those serves right now.
And taking a timeout is a good way to do that, getting her out of her rhythm and just slowing things down. And I've seen you many times kind of get your racket up, find that little spot on the floor you've got to check out just to do what we're talking about here.
The little spots on the floor are the ones that I just slipped in, so I don't want to slip in it again.
So here we go, 5-0. What a turnaround from game one. Replay call a little too high from Vargas. Salas obstructed.
That was a hinder because Samantha's ability to, and both of their abilities to change direction so quickly.
Yeah, both of these players extremely athletic. Soft hands from Salas. Another 3-shot rally.
Samantha's a lot more comfortable now. Samantha doesn't look like she's, chasing the ball. She's meeting it. She's prepared for it, and when she has that position and that timing, she's got options. And I think that's what has changed the momentum in her direction, is that she's no longer reacting to Vargas. She's making Vargas react to her.
It's a great point, and that was a great example, controlling the middle of the court and pushing Vargas around the court. Vargas, very athletic, gets a lot of balls back, but when Samantha is dictating the pace, she is very comfortable, especially on that forehand side. We've seen her play very well on the backhand this morning, though, as well.
Yeah, it seems like the first game, early on especially, Vargas was in the driver's seat. She was conducting the symphony, and now it looks like Samantha has turned that around a little bit and taken the wheel for herself. Now Vargas is trying to fight back.
What a get from Salas. There was a couple of tentative backhands from Samantha Salas.
Yeah, it didn't seem like she had her feet under. It didn't seem like she could tee off on it the way that she wanted to.
Vargas finally in the service box. She has to get her serve in. Here's a setup. She doesn't put it down. So what's the call here, Rhonda? Crowd don't like it. I suspect a replay must have been called. What's your take?
Honestly, I'm looking at the monitor. It was hard to see exactly where the ball was. If Samantha was completely in her way of where she needed to be, depending on where the ball was, then that should have been unavoidable. If the ball was not in a position where Samantha was the one necessarily completely inhibiting the shot, then a replay would probably be the call. It's hard to tell from the angle that I saw it at.
Wow, again, that forehand just stepping into it. 7-2.
If you believe in the racquetball gods, then the side out would mean that the replay was the right call.
Well, I think it was overturned, which is why Vargas got the 2.
Okay. Well, racquetball
in this case,
justice then. Immediate side out.
You can see how tight that ball was down the left glass.
Like I said, even with the green ball, those back corners, I call them coffin corners because they're, you can lose the ball when it just dies back there.
Great get from Vargas. Salas, she didn't hit one as a kill shot, but she certainly won't take a second opportunity to do the same. She puts it down. It's a point, 8-2. Broken ball, I think. Yes, broken ball. So that will be a replay.
Is that broken ball on a ceiling ball?
Too much power.
Muscles.
Well, it's been a lot of fun here at the U.S. Open. We've been here all week, and of course the semifinals are today. Doubles final tonight. That should be a fun one. Longoria Salas, Mejia Herrera. A repeat of the final in Mexico, in San Luis, where Herrera and Mejia won it in a very tight tiebreaker. Longoria Salas looking to defend their title. We'll see if they can do it. Mejia Herrera, they want something to say about that. Clever serve.
Amazing serve. I think she had the whole crowd leaning the wrong way for that one, not just Vargas.
Salas certainly taking her time over this second serve. Pulling up on that forehand, and she got punished for it. Haven't seen her do that very much. Usually that forehand is a step in and take it rather than defend.
Yeah, I think it could have spun away from her, or maybe she just misjudged it. Just a half a step out of position. She didn't get to take it the way she wanted to.
Nicely handled. Almost hit herself, Salas, but difficult to do when you're that far up on the front court. There's a lot of options, and sometimes too many options.
She took that pretty high and early, too. I was surprised she didn't wait another half a second for the ball to drop just a bit.
So we've kind of reached the sticky point in this second game. We're still at 8-2. And another side out. Little fist pump from Vargas. Definitely an emotional player. Very vocal on the court, animated. You can tell how she's feeling. She doesn't hide it.
Not at all. And I think she sort of needs to use that emotional energy now to try to get her, her physical self, her game playing self back into the momentum that she had in the first game if she wants to come back and avoid a breaker.
A rare skip from Salas. Looks like Vargas has broken her string, so that will be an equipment timeout. She has 30 seconds to replace that. One of the keys associated with that is no coaching. And these are some of the newer rules coming in this season with the LPRT. They adopted the IRF rules. And so some of the players like yourself, very familiar with IRF rules, some of them less so. I saw that expression, Rhonda.
I'll be honest, I usually just ask the most basic questions because the rule between LPRT, IRF, USRA, indoor, outdoor, I mean.
Sure, that's a good point.
I get so mixed up, I got to ask. I'm like, how many timeouts do we get? Not that I ever take any. Just curious, how many do I have? And is it 5 appeals total no matter what happens, or is it 3 used appeals, or is it 2 now? Yeah, it's a lot to keep track of.
That's a good point. Well, hopefully this helps the ladies as they adopt the IRF, so they only have at least one less set of rules to learn. Salas crouching in the back. Finally gets a point. Vargas probably 80% of the time serves that drive serve to the left, but will sometimes throw in something different. Here's an opportunity. Smart, straight down the line. High percentage.
High percentage and, using that glass. I mean, especially as the player waiting for it, to come out, that's the hardest one to find. If it pinch, you can at least hear it and your body can react to the sound. But a straight in, you have to be prepared for that line or the cross. And if you turn your head the wrong way, it's already too late going the other way.
Great cross-court winner. Look at Salas. Usually pretty composed, but a bit frustrated with that serve. Vargas, let's see if she sticks with this cross-court. She does, and it's short.
She's so comfortable with that serve. That's also her go-to a lot of the time, even on a second serve.
Excellent return from Salas on that backhand, stepping in and hitting that very solidly. Haven't seen many lob serves in this match so far.
Not many. Not many. I think they're both trying to attack quite a bit.
Skip ball Vargas. It was close, but not good enough.
I know that feeling. Those are the ones you want back.
You can hear Vargas encouraging herself. Let's go, she says. Screen serve. Is that one of those ones where it's a screen and you actually, as a receiver, want to take it? Or do you always call the screen?
I mean, if it's a screen, it should be a screen. It's like, just because it's short and you played it, it's still short.
Vargas with her hand up. So
it's not like Vargas to hold up her swing like that. I'd look for her to start possibly even overswinging to make a point if she feels like instead of holding up again.
It's also important when you feel like you're impeded in a situation like that, get your hand up, show that there was an issue there. It's not called, keep playing.
Yeah.
I've noticed you give a few looks to a referee during the middle of a rally. No comment.
The only issues I have with refs is, like, I understand the ones that are close. The ones that are close and I know they could go either way, that doesn't bother me. The ones that are egregiously obvious and they miss them, those are the ones I have a problem with.
Well, and that's why we have line judges in place to hopefully correct some of those. I mean, referees aren't perfect. They do make mistakes, of course. So hopefully 3 of them don't all make the same mistake.
Hopefully.
Well, Salas is playing extremely well right now. It gets another skip from Vargas. It's 13-4. What a turnaround from the beginning of game 1 where Vargas started so brightly. Salas pulled it back, couldn't close out game 1, but she's really continued that momentum.
Right. Like I said, the more time she's spent in the service box, the more comfortable she's getting being in the service box, and it's showing the way that she's setting up the rallies for herself.
Good side out. It was a backhand pinch winner set up here. So what's your call in this situation?
That should have been a replay.
Went down the right side, would have got it too. I think Salas was leaning left. Great effort from Vargas, but not able to pick it up. She's just hitting a little higher than she was at the beginning of this match.
Yeah, and that's because Samantha has gotten into her own groove, and in doing so, taken Vargas out of hers. And like I said, now she's making Vargas react to her.
Should also say head-to-head, Salas leads 8-3 over Vargas. Four serving 13. Salas slowing down her opponent. Make that 5. Salas thought it skipped. I think she was looking for some guidance in the back to see whether she should appeal. 2 bounce call. Ace serve from Vargas. We haven't said that very much in this match. She relies heavily on her serve. Well, Salas is going to take a timeout. It's 6 serving 13. We'll take a timeout. We'll be back with you. Can Vargas come back in the second game? We'll see. Oh my goodness. What do you say when that happens?
Lucky.
You saw it wasn't a great return, and it just kissed the back floor and glass and just died. Salas gets the side out, as you said, fortuitously. But she'll take it. Not going to argue.
Who wouldn't?
Drive Z likely over to the right side. And the return cross court. Salas not able to control it. 6 serving 13. It's been a long second game compared to the first.
It'll be interesting to see if we see the momentum swing Vargas's way, even if Samantha wins this and pushes it to a tiebreaker.
Right.
It could make for a super interesting tiebreaker.
Yeah, and we saw that happen in game 1. Vargas, if you're just joining us, had a huge lead, had a game point, and then Salas went on a terrific run to make it close. Vargas just getting over the edge. The opposite has happened in game 2. Wow. Double fault second serve. So reliable usually, that forehand Z. You talked about the glass having different spins, different bounces compared to a traditional court, and we're here. I mean, these players have been on cement courts most of the week.
Right. I believe this is the first LPRT match to be on this court.
For singles, yes.
Yeah.
Well, Vargas, she thought it was short. Both line judges overrule the official. Little smile from Rodriguez, the head official for this match. Call overturned, second serve coming up. Power from Salas, the return a little loose. And it brings up game point number 1. Can Salas take this to a tiebreaker? Wow, what a backhand. I thought that was a screen serve when it came through from our angle. Not asked for by Vargas, and so suddenly we do indeed have a tiebreaker. Vargas took the first 15-12, Salas the second 15-7. We'll be back in 2 minutes to see who takes this tiebreaker. First to 11 win by 1. Well, welcome back, everybody. Tim and Rhonda joining you for this tiebreaker. Rhonda, during the break, I was trying to think of, have I ever seen you live lose a tiebreaker? And the answer is no. So what gets you through a tiebreaker knowing that it's just 11 points and you've just been battling back and forth and each of you have shared a game?
For me, honestly, it doesn't matter what just happened. There's nothing I can do about that, but there's still one more game in front of me. That's the only thing I can do anything about when I get in there.
Both players leaving some balls up in that rally. Samantha Salas puts it down with a forehand, and if you're Vargas, probably want to keep it down the left side.
Yeah, they're both moving well. I mean, I think it's actually been a little bit more interesting in the action when the rallies are a little bit higher. There's a little more scrambling from both players, and especially when the ball's a little higher like that, unless it's a duck setup right in the middle. I mean, they're both having to move a lot, and it's harder to execute.
Let's see the call.
I think Vargas stopped without a call being made.
Right, replay was the call, and Vargas was asking, well, couldn't that have been an avoidable? She has 3 appeals in a tiebreaker, just like games 1 and 2. Chooses not to use one this early in the breaker. It's a bit scrappy. But Salas puts it down with another forehand winner. Or wait, skip?
Tough to tell from our angle.
Yeah, it's tough to see from here. Apparently so. Side out 0-1. But we've already seen some long rallies in this tiebreaker, and players may be less confident going for that kill.
Well, and like you said, it's the tiebreaker. I mean, you don't have another cushion game to start over, so.
Oh my. Both players go down. We saw that in game one. Glad they're okay. I think we're going to have a replay. That's a better shot from Vargas. Snap of the wrist down the right side. How much of a mental battle is it as you go into a tiebreaker and you creep closer and closer and it's still close, you know, an 8-8 scenario? Does it play a factor, or are you just focusing on the next point?
Well, the trick of it is that it shouldn't. I mean,
Right.
the more you worry about, you know, the 8-8 or it's tight or it's close, or, you know, the more pressure you're putting on each point situation, the more, you know, those are the times you start to tighten up. Those are the times you start to forget to breathe. Those are the times you know, your feet don't want to move right. That's when you start to guide the ball instead of hit it, and it's just, those are the things you want to try to avoid. So I mean, it doesn't matter if it's 8-8, 0-0, game one, game three. You should want to have the same feel of relaxation and clarity of execution, no matter what it is.
You saw Salas run up after winning that rally to take that ball and get ready to serve. She's trying to demonstrate she's up for this, and look at that for a backhand pinch winner. Salas. How often do we say that?
There's quite a bit of body language in between rallies that can actually have quite a bit of an effect as well.
Tough to execute.
That is tough to hit.
It's still 1-1. Excellent serve. Oh my goodness. And a big skip from Salas. The effort from Vargas kept her in the point, forcing Salas to hit another shot.
Those are those moments where you've got to find a way to not get tight. I think the ginormity of the setup and the tight tiebreaker, even at 1-1, might have played a factor there.
That was a bit of a nervous pinch. It's a skip, and interesting that Salas is taking her first time out just like this.
You know, I'm not hating on that, because it's only 3-1. You don't want to get the hole any deeper before you start feeling like, oh, I should have taken a timeout. I mean, I think she feels the momentum shifting, and she want to make sure that it doesn't get too far out of her grasp.
Well, we should also mention, as you watch Samantha Salas and Maria Jose Vargas competing here in this first semifinal, there'll be an IRT men's semifinal coming up next after this match. You can watch it on their Facebook page, YouTube, and website, IRT International Racquetball Tour. So be sure to watch that and then come back to the LPRT for the second semifinal, Longoria Mejia. We've talked a little bit about it, Rhonda. It should be quite a match, kind of a young upstart taking on somebody who's been the world #1 for a few years now.
Yeah, that's going to be, I'm hoping for the fans. I think we all are hoping for,
we want a good match.
Kind of an explosive powder keg of a match. I think that Paola, obviously the seasoned veteran that she is, and you know, the consistency that she has shown, and her familiarity with this court and her experience here is going to be her biggest asset. But Mejia just has this way of playing where she just has no fear. She'll hit what she wants to hit. She'll take what she wants to take. She doesn't ever feel like I don't think she ever feels like she's in a match that she can't win. So, and being that she, that she has actually defeated Pale before earlier this year, I think that's a bit of a confidence boost for her to carry into.
Well, speaking of confidence booster, Vargas comes in and hits an ace serve, takes another point, 4-1, and again, we've switched it. Game 1, she had a huge lead. Game 2, Salas had a huge lead. Now she's got the huge lead in the third game. It's 5-1 with 2 bullet serves. It's such an advantage to have a serve like that.
I was going to say, that's back-to-back aces into that left corner, and if you recall, I don't know if the streaming was on or not, but we saw Vargas stay on the court after she lost that first game. Wouldn't let the towel girl come in and wipe up the court just yet because she stayed in the service box and hit a few serves in between the second and third game.
Skip ball called. Look at Samantha Salas.
It did skip. I don't think she knows it skipped. It must have felt good.
Well, one disagrees and one agrees, so call stands another point. I love the way that Salas appeals. It's very dramatic. Good for the cameras.
Short. Come on, ref.
Vargas needed a little timeout there. A Ronda Racich timeout.
I've never actually dropped the ball off my foot like that. Definitely not on purpose.
Another point for Vargas, 7-1.
Samantha's got to try to do something different here.
4 points away, and it's been Vargas's serve. It's really started to click, and it's created some opportunities. See if she sticks to this left side as she has been. Make it another point. 8-1. Timeout? I mean, you said you got to change it.
Yeah, Vargas is swinging freely right now. Remember, we had those few where she, maybe was trying to get the hinder and wasn't freely swinging. And here we see her unloading with what she wants to do.
Wow.
Just like that.
That's a confidence booster. Timeout is going to be taken by Salas. We'll take a timeout. Vargas, 2 points away from a place in the final of the U.S. Open. We'll be right back. Another skip from Salas, and suddenly it's match point number 1. What a turnaround from game number 2, where Salas controlled the whole game. Vargas finds herself with an opportunity to go to the final. I like the call in that situation. Salas got her hand up. Rodriguez calls for a second serve, courtesy of a screen. Oh my goodness, she did it, and what a way to do it, Ronda Racich. Beautiful shot into that left corner.
That was a great match to watch all the way around. They both had their streaks where they played really well, and that was a aura of who wasn't going to relent.
Well, we're going to talk with Vargas in just a moment. We're going to get her back in the booth to find out what she thought of this match and what she thinks about tomorrow's match as she advances to the final. So, Rhonda, thank you so much for joining me and all of us who are watching. Appreciate your insight. We're going to take a short commercial break, and we'll be back with an interview with the winner, Maria Jose Vargas.
Professionally, on and off the court. My goal is to be #1. Obviously, same with everybody. It's difficult, but with their help, I can work for it every single tournament and get better. Donations are greatly appreciated, no matter how big or small. It helps players like me reach our dream.
Well, welcome back, everybody. So let's have a conversation with our winner, Maria Jose Vargas, and interviewed by Commissioner TJ Bamba.
All right, rock and roll.
Wow, what an amazing match, Maria. Congratulations to you for making your second U.S. Open final.
Thank you so much. Yes, I'm really happy to make my second final. My goal is win the U.S. Open the first time, but I go for the tournament.
So you had a tough opponent in here today. I mean, Samantha Salas was a finalist last year in the U.S. Open. She played her heart out as both of you did. I mean, what an incredible match.
Yeah, Samantha is a very, very, very good player. It's my only, I think it's most of my favorite, Samantha. It's very intensive, like me. I see the match is really exciting for the people is here. Yes, congratulations, Samantha. She's a great player. I'm waiting for the next match tomorrow.
Well, congratulations to you. I know you're probably going to check out the next match, the upcoming Paola Longoria and Montse Mejia. So that'll be a good match as well. Is there anybody you would like to thank at home who's watching?
Thank you, my mom, my father, my husband. I love you. My baby, I love you. Thank you, Head. Thank you, the LPR team made this amazing tournament. Mike Leitch and Carlos Quadri always with me. And thank you, everybody in the web.
Again, Maria, great match and good luck to you in the final tomorrow at 10 a.m. Central Time.
Thank you, DJ.
All right.
Well, you can see the next match coming up. So Maria Jose Vargas wins and advances to the final. The men's semifinal is coming up next on their channel, International Racquetball Tour, on their Facebook, YouTube, and website. But we'll be back after that match for the next women's semifinal. As we mentioned, Paola Longoria, Montse Mejia. You do not want to miss that match. It's going to be something special. We all can't wait in the studio. We hope you can't either. But for now, we'll turn off the feed. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll be back in a little while.